All right, moving on to Cube 2, Hypercube. Now, the director of this was the cinematographer for Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs and whatnot. So you're thinking, oh man, this is going to be pretty cool, right? I tell you what, man, this opening looks like shit. I don't know what the fuck. Now, this is a really weird franchise because typically when you have this low budget, one location, really smart, really well received, financially profitable first movie that warrants that sequel, it's the sequel that gets a pretty drastically upgraded budget, right? And everything looks better and everything feels better produced. This is not that fucking franchise. The first film by far is the best looking, the best aesthetically, the best everything. Like this fucking film and the next one especially. Oh my god, the next one. We'll get into that. But this one, yeah, everything's bright and they use some CG, so maybe some people would think like, oh, it's getting bigger and better. No, the fuck it is not. No, it is not. Man, this one was rough. I remember liking this one. I've always defended this one. I don't know what the fucking drugs that was on. This is not a very good movie. This is not a very good movie. The problem with this franchise is, okay, once they're going to make this into a franchise, I should probably save this for the third one. I'll just reiterate it a little bit in the next one. I'll talk more about it in the Cube Zero one, but really quick. When you expand it into a franchise and you're going to kind of start exploring other territories, especially with the third one, when you start getting into like the exploration of the technicians that control the outside and everything, and when you're going to show that the guys at the end of this movie who are the soldiers and the higher ups and whatever, like, you're going to have to give a little bit more purpose to things. This film is just like ambiguity personified. Like, it doesn't explain a fucking thing, and not even like it tries. Like, it leaves mysteries that there's no answer for. And that's frustrating. Because this one, like the first one, I don't know. The first one I can kind of start to fill in blanks. With this, like, oh, maybe they're doing it because of this. They're testing it out there. They had it, so why not put people in it? Whatever. And with this one, I feel less, I feel like I have less of a reason, way less of a reason for why this is being done. Because at the end of this, we find out that Sasha is actually the one who created this place, and she's like, was gonna blow the whistle on the place because she found out that they were gonna use the fucking thing, and then so she like jumps in there and runs into the cube, and so then they send in like one of their agents to go in and retrieve her necklace, which has got something recorded on it. I don't know. I guess the info, but she like knew she was never coming out of there, so like she might as well have just committed suicide. And then the other girl goes in there and she gets killed coming out, and it's all to expose, like, to keep what from, I don't fucking know. I don't get this movie at all. And it feels so poorly written. Like, I like the idea of like the Tesseract and the Hypercube, and the rooms are moving, and there's spatial, time stuff and all that. That's all fine and well. And I feel like that was a good avenue to explore with this. You got to make it bigger and more grand and whatever. Sure, let's make it even more science fiction, and let's go for, rooms that are moving around themselves, and realities bending onto themselves, and time displacement, all sorts of things like this. That's cool, man. Yeah, go for it. Go hard sci-fi. I don't give a shit. I'm there for it. But not like this. Okay, so the opening of this is just dreadful. in comparison to the first one and the third one. The third one has a pretty good opening with gore and kill and whatever. This one just has a girl being pulled through the door, which we find out later is this girl who's in there who's like a technician for this hypercube, I guess. And then there's this like private detective or cop or something, and he's in there looking for her. But then once he finds her, he just starts killing her over and over and over again because there's like multiple versions of yourself. It's like multiplicity in there. Fucking, there's a bunch of Michael Keatons running around. I don't know. But like, I just don't see any rhyme or reason to anything. Like, what's the point of anything in this? I'm just so confused by any of it. The blind girl, who ends up being the creator, reminded me so much of little Dinah or from the Langoliers. You know, I can hear something and it's bad and we need to get away from it. The sound is getting closer. I mean, this is straight ripped right out of the Langoliers. It just fucking looked like a, you know, an aged Asian Dinah. Okay? Take a second, though. Go, you know that fucking little girl with the freaking glasses and Langoliers who look like a little boy, not very attractive. You remember that girl? Go to IMDb and look her up now. Holy shit. What a difference, man. Milk does a body good, let me tell you what. This girl was drinking it by the gallon. Holy fuck, man. Dinah grew up to be unbelievable. But anyway, moving on. So then there's this like military guy who I'm assuming oversaw some of this, whatever, and he immediately commits suicide because he's locked in this thing. He does not want to be in this. He knows what's like there, but we have no reason why. He never gives us a bit of fucking information. He just tries to kill himself, and I did as well. Then you got the old woman in there who's got dementia, and the worst case of dementia I've ever seen in my life. Like, she forgets things that happened 4 seconds ago. I've never seen fucking someone have memory problems that bad. Even the dude in Memento lasted longer than she did. So her dementia was insane. Just, she wouldn't even be able to answer any questions. She'd be so gone. We get the moving wall of death in this that's coming at him. I don't like any of this stuff. I don't like any of like the way that this is just like I don't even know what to call it. This wall that's like moving towards them and it's like consuming the room in front of them, and they just keep running from it because it just keeps coming at them. And it's like, why not just go down one or over to the right or something? Like, why do you just keep moving in a straight line? And there isn't there traps? Like, aren't you worried about those? How are you doing that when you're on the run like that? Like, they didn't really address that much. Like they just kept moving from room to room to room, and it's like, shouldn't that have been exacerbated by the fact that they have to then check the rooms and maybe traps are going off and they're trying to get, like, this wall of death is coming at them and the room's trapped, and maybe it's like a, you know, a sound room where it's got like booby traps all over the floor and they know where to touch and where not to touch, but this fucking wall of death is coming at them, so it's like they have to be really quiet or they have to be really stealthy or whatever to try to get through it while the clock is while the walls are literally like collapsing on. There's just like, they didn't utilize anything here. Everything just feels thrown together, and that's really weird to me. I don't know, man. This movie's a fucking shame to watch. The gravity shifts. This is cool. But used for nothing. Like, they don't ever use this for anything. Like, they could have used this for like a you know, like a scene where the guy like goes to jump in and then like the gravity takes him and like throws him somewhere else, like through the rooms. Like, oh god, I don't know, man. I just, this is a stupid ass fucking movie. One of the guys in this movie is a game designer, but doesn't really know anything about dimensional, like, space. Like, the guy's having to explain to him, like, 3 dimensions and then the 4th dimension of a tesseract. Dude, if you grew up, or if you went to school for designing 3D software gaming, you fucking know what a tesseract is. You know what that kind of stuff. You're going to be in, like, classes learning about dimensions. They would definitely get into stuff like that. Just in theory. I just don't see. Maybe I'm completely off base here, but the fact that he knows nothing about this, just fucking. I mean, dude, hasn't he seen the Avengers? Okay, I don't know. That I could be totally off base on that one, but I was just like, really? He says he's a games designer. I have a feeling that he would know what that is. I feel like he should be the one telling them about it, not just some fucking random guy who designed the doors for the place. Now these are like touch activated, which I actually liked. And I like that they see themselves, and the guy stabs a girl in the back, and he's like, "Don't trust the old cunt." How does that really play into the movie though? Doesn't really, does it? Like he's like yelling at them, "Don't trust her." I mean, she doesn't really end up being all that big of a deal. So it's just his delusion. Like it's supposed to like kind of shade her in doubt. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that was completely abandoned. And then Jerry is eaten by the cube. The graphics all here talking about the Langoliers. The CG in this is pretty terrible. The time shifting and all of that, this isn't really used very much at all. Very little. The only time that this is used well, one time, is when the dude is like stabbed in the eye and then he's just behind her. And he's like, "I've been waiting." And she's like, "That was a second ago." And he's like, "Not for me." It's the only time this plays into the movie at all. But they could have played around with that time shit so much. So much. It could have been so cool. But yeah, just it's very, very sparingly used. So what's the point? And then I like that she finds all their dead bodies, you know. But that's just time shifts. That's not so much like you go into a room and then it feels like you've been in there for a month. But I mean, how long could that guy have been in there? I guess he was eating people, right? He's like, "I'm so hungry," and he's killing those people and eating them. Is that what's happening there? He's a cannibal? Must be, because he looks older and way fucked up. So I guess he's just killing everyone. And it takes him, you know, fucking a month to find her, I guess. I don't know. A pickup line you never want to hear is, you know, "Oh, I must be dreaming because I'd never kiss you in the real world." Like not in a good way. Like, "Oh my God, you're out of my league. Like, you're beneath me. I would never do this." And then the guy's like, "I don't care. Let's have sex." And we do get some boobies. The only cube boobies in this. No, not like Laura Croft cube boobies. I mean, boobies within the cube. Gleam in the cube is what he was doing. And let's see. I like that they fucked each other to death. They just kept fucking. Now, I guess the gravity in that room allowed them to kind of float in the center. So that's the only room. Like I don't know. They started fucking in that room. And that room had perfectly fine gravity before. But then when they started having sex, I guess they were elevated to the. I don't know. Just for some reason, gravity just was less there, and they just started fucking. It would be very hard to fuck with like no gravity. Like if you like just thrust this way, it'd like push her into the wall. I'm overthinking it. But they're still floating and rotating, so when she finds their dead bodies. So I don't know. It's a cool looking thing, I suppose, but I don't know. They decide to fuck each other to death. That's their end. She's like, "Oh, have sex with me." And then they just stay there fucking forever? Like, do they not, like, does time speed up when they're having sex and they just die? Or do they decide to just, like, keep fucking until they die? Like, I'm confused about why they're still in each other. Like, they're embracing each other naked and they're still spinning in the middle of the room dead. Like, what happened there? They looked fine when they started fucking. I mean, they had enough energy to start having sex. So it would take days for them to die. So they just held each other like that? Or like time sped up? Or did they get like fried? Did the room turn into a trap and like burn them? Or I don't have any. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's happening in this movie. Um, and I like that the dude has like murdered a ton of people, so he's like wearing a bunch of watches and a bunch of those lanyards for that he took from the chick that he's in there to find, which he finds and then does nothing with. So it's completely pointless. I don't even know why she's in there. I don't even know why he's in there. I don't know why anybody's fucking in here, except for Sasha and our main girl, who's the agent, who I guess they refer to as Phase 2, or is the Cube Phase 2? They're like, Phase 2 has been eliminated. Is that Phase 2 the girl is Phase 2, or the Phase 2 is the Cube? That's been eliminated because they got her necklace back. Couldn't they shut down the Cube at any time? Or because the cube was made and then it's going to explode onto itself, and couldn't they have just waited for that to happen and she would have died inside the cube? She was never getting out, and if she was, they could have just sat there. But if they wasn't, then the necklace and everything would have been brought down with her, so she went in there to die so that she could keep the information from that. Like, what is on that necklace? And it would have blown up with her inside the cube when it implodes, as she already has figured out. Like, you're not getting out of this thing. So she went in there to die, but she went in there with information that was vital, and then that girl was sent in after her, but she can't get out. See what I'm talking about? Nothing fucking makes any sense. It's all just nonsense. It's all like, oh, well, we want to make it a hypercube, and, you know, one of them actually designed the place, so we're going to put that in there. But fucking for what? What is she in there for? I don't know, man. I don't get it at all. So, terminated. That's it. Phase 2 is terminated. So, is the entire place terminated, or is it the asset, the girl who came out? Why kill her? Like, why send her in and then kill her? Isn't she an agent for you? Like, now she just did that big thing. That seems like a promotion is in order, but they're gonna kill her. Why kill her? Because she can't keep the secret? I mean, all the fucking dudes that were outside that place, there's like 100 soldiers out there. You gonna kill all of them too because they know about the place? Like, why kill her? You see, it just doesn't make any fucking sense, man. There's no reason for anything. They give like less of an explanation than the first one does. Like, by showing you more, it just poses more questions than the first one. At least I believe, I can sit there and think like Kazan came out and he's on TV and he's won the fucking grand prize. Like, how it's the Running Man 2.0. Like, I don't know, man. This ending is just rough, but yeah. So not a good movie. Not a good movie. Back when I watched this, I probably thought it was cool that they were doing like a hypercube and it was more science fiction, but it just didn't go one way or the other enough for me, and I was really underwhelmed by this. But fuck, dude, you thought I didn't like this one? Wait till we get to the next one. Holy fuck, let's go.